How many of you feel stuck in the same patterns year after year, wondering when life will get better? You've set goals, made resolutions, and tried to stay positive, but somehow life seems to pull you back into the same routines, the same challenges. What if I told you that the reason things aren't changing isn't out there, it's in here? Life isn't something that happens to you, it's a mirror of who you are. Nothing changes until you change. Today we'll explore how your thoughts, emotions, and habits create your reality, and how you can break free from the cycle that's holding you back. Change isn't just possible, it's inevitable when you decide to transform from the inside out. How many of you feel stuck in the same patterns year after year, wondering when life will get better? You've set goals, made resolutions, and tried to stay positive, but somehow life seems to pull you back into the same routines, the same challenges. It's as if no matter how much effort you put into changing your circumstances, something unseen pulls you back to where you started. It's frustrating, isn't it? That constant tug of war between who you are now and who you know you're meant to be. What if I told you that the reason things aren't changing isn't out there, it's in here? That's right. The world around you isn't the root of your frustration, it's the reflection of your inner world. Life doesn't happen to you, life happens through you. And until you understand that, until you accept that nothing changes until you change, you'll keep spinning in the same circles, replaying the same story, and experiencing the same outcomes. Think about it. How often do you wake up and immediately begin replaying the thoughts of yesterday? You think about the argument you had last week, the bill that's due tomorrow, or the dream you haven't achieved yet. Those thoughts trigger the same emotions: frustration, worry, doubt, and before you know it, you're living the same day as before. You might call it a new day, but in reality, it's just yesterday on repeat. The truth is, your mind and body are in a relationship. Your thoughts create emotions, and those emotions signal your body to act in a certain way. Over time, those repeated thoughts and emotions become a habit, a program running on autopilot. Science tells us that nearly 90% of what we think and do every day is the same as the day before. We're creatures of habit, living unconsciously in the past while hoping for a different future. But hope isn't enough. Change doesn't come from wishing, it comes from doing. And doing begins with being. If you want your external world to transform, you must first transform yourself. You must break the cycle of old thoughts and emotions that are hardwired into your brain and body. That's not just philosophy, that's science. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity, which means it can change. New thoughts can create new neural pathways. New emotions can signal your body to heal and thrive. The moment you decide to think and feel differently, you begin to rewrite the software of your mind and the biology of your body. Now, let's talk about the present moment, because this is where your power lies. Most people live in the past, trapped by memories of what didn't work out or fears of repeating old mistakes. But the past doesn't define you unless you allow it to. Every moment you spend reliving yesterday, you miss the chance to create a new tomorrow. The present moment is your canvas. It's where you choose who you want to be, not based on who you were, but on the possibilities of who you can become. So how do you start? You begin by becoming aware of your thoughts. Don't judge them, just observe. Are they aligned with the life you want, or are they tethered to the life you're trying to leave behind? Next, challenge those thoughts. Replace self-doubt with self-belief. Replace fear with faith. Replace frustration with gratitude. When you think differently, you'll feel differently, and when you feel differently, you'll act differently. But it's not just about thinking, it's about feeling. Feel the life you want as if it's already yours. Visualize it. Imagine every detail and let the emotions of that future fill you. Gratitude, love, joy, these are the frequencies of transformation. When you align your inner state with the life you want, you raise your energy. And when your energy changes, your life begins to change. This isn't a one-time effort, it's a daily practice. Change isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Each moment you choose to be aware, each step you take toward your highest self, brings you closer to the life you deserve. You are the creator of your reality, and nothing changes until you change. So, decide right now, who will you be today? How many of you wake up each day feeling like you're trapped in the same loop, living the same problems and wondering why life seems so resistant to change? You might set goals, make plans, and tell yourself that this time will be different. Yet, somehow, life pulls you back into the same patterns. It feels like no matter how hard you try, the results remain the same. That can be incredibly disheartening, can't it? But what if I told you the key to breaking free from that cycle doesn't lie in the world around you, but in the world within you? The truth is, your external world is a mirror of your internal state. The frustrations, the obstacles, and even the triumphs in your life are reflections of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. If you want to change your life, you must first change yourself. It's a profound realization: nothing changes until you change. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Think about how much of your life is dictated by your past. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, and every action you take is deeply influenced by your memories and habits. Most people wake up in the morning and immediately start thinking about yesterday. They replay the arguments, the disappointments, and the to-do lists left undone. Those thoughts trigger the same feelings of frustration, anxiety, or self-doubt. And before they even step out of bed, they've already recreated the energy of yesterday. This repetition isn't random, it's a program. Neuroscience tells us that we live most of our lives on autopilot, running subconscious patterns that we've repeated for years. Your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors create neural pathways in your brain, and the more you repeat them, the stronger those pathways become. Eventually, these patterns turn into habits so ingrained that they feel like who you are. But here's the thing: they're not who you are. They're just who you've practiced being. And anything you've learned, you can unlearn. The process of change begins with awareness. You must become conscious of your unconscious habits, those automatic thoughts and reactions that are shaping your reality. Most of us live in the past, letting our memories define our future. But every time you think, feel, or act in the same way, you reinforce the past. You're essentially telling your brain and body, "This is who I am." But what if you could think and feel differently? What if you could break free from those old patterns and create new ones? Science shows us that the brain is capable of change, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. Every time you choose a new thought, you forge a new neural connection. When you pair that thought with a powerful emotion, you strengthen it. Over time, this process rewires your brain, changing not only how you think, but also how you experience life. Real change happens in the present moment. It's not something that exists in the future or something you achieve after years of effort. It begins right now, in this very moment, when you decide to step out of your past and into the possibility of something new. The present is your point of power. It's where you can choose who you want to be, regardless of who you've been. To create real transformation, you need to align your thoughts and emotions with the life you desire. This isn't just about thinking positively, it's about feeling positively. The energy you emit through your emotions creates your reality. If you want abundance, you must feel abundant. If you want love, you must feel love. Your energy is like a magnet, drawing experiences that match your inner state. This process takes practice. It requires daily commitment to observing your thoughts, replacing limiting beliefs, and stepping into the version of yourself who already lives the life you desire. It's not always easy, and there will be moments when you fall back into old patterns. But every time you choose awareness, every time you choose to shift your focus, you take a step closer to the life you want. Remember, nothing changes until you change. Your world doesn't transform until you do. This moment right now is your opportunity to decide who you will become. You are the creator of your reality, and every thought, every emotion, and every choice you make is shaping your future. So, take a deep breath, step into the present moment, and choose to be the change you've been waiting for. Each day, many of us wake up feeling like we're reliving the same story. We go through the motions, tackle the same challenges, and face the same frustrations. We tell ourselves that this time will be different, that we'll make better decisions, or that circumstances will finally shift. Yet, at the end of the day, it often feels like nothing has really changed. It's a cycle that leaves us feeling stuck, as if life is happening to us without our input or control. But the truth is, the reason things stay the same isn't because life is static or unyielding, it's because we are. Nothing changes until you change. Consider how most of us begin our day. The alarm goes off, and immediately, our thoughts turn to what happened yesterday, last week, or even years ago. We replay the arguments, the mistakes, the disappointments. Or we jump ahead to the future, worrying about what might go wrong or fretting over tasks yet to be completed. These thoughts aren't neutral, they trigger emotions, anxiety, frustration, or even sadness. Those emotions, in turn, influence how we act. And before we've even had breakfast, we've already set ourselves up to repeat the patterns of the past. This isn't just a habit, it's how our brains are wired. Neuroscience shows us that the majority of our thoughts each day are the same as the day before. Those thoughts, combined with repeated emotions and actions, create a feedback loop that becomes our default state. Over time, this loop reinforces itself so strongly that it feels like who we are. But that's the key, it only feels like who we are. In reality, these patterns are learned behaviors, and anything learned can be unlearned. The first step to breaking this cycle is recognizing it. Most of us live unconsciously, unaware of the thoughts and emotions driving our behavior. But awareness is powerful. When you become aware of your thoughts, you create a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies the opportunity to choose differently. Instead of reacting out of habit, you can consciously decide how you want to think, feel, and act. This process requires more than just willpower, it requires stepping into the present moment. The present is where all change happens. Yet so many of us spend our lives mentally anchored to the past or anxiously projecting into the future. Every time you replay an old memory, you're reinforcing the emotions tied to it. Every time you worry about the future, you're energizing fears that may never come to pass. The present moment is your portal to freedom, the place where you can release the grip of the past and start creating a new future. To change your life, you must change your inner state. This means shifting not only your thoughts, but also your emotions. It's not enough to think positively, you must feel the emotions that align with the life you want. Gratitude, joy, love, and peace aren't just pleasant feelings, they are transformative frequencies. When you consistently feel these emotions, you raise your energy and begin to attract experiences that match your elevated state. But change is not an overnight process. It's a daily practice. Each day you have the opportunity to observe your thoughts and choose new ones. Each day you can replace self-doubt with self-belief, frustration with gratitude, and fear with courage. Small, consistent changes compound over time, creating a ripple effect that transforms your reality. There will be moments when it feels difficult, moments when old patterns resurface and try to pull you back. That's part of the journey. Real change requires persistence and patience. It requires faith in the process and in yourself. Remember, the life you want is not something you chase, it's something you become. By aligning your inner state with your vision of the future, you bring that future into being. Nothing changes until you change. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your choices are the building blocks of your reality. The power to transform your life doesn't lie in external circumstances or in the actions of others, it lies within you. Every moment is an opportunity to create anew, to step out of old patterns and into the person you've always known you could be. Life isn't waiting to change for you, it's waiting for you to change for it. The question is, are you ready? Every day, many people wake up with a sense of dissatisfaction, yearning for something different, something better. Yet, they find themselves caught in the same routines, facing the same struggles, and feeling like progress is just out of reach. They look outward, hoping circumstances will shift, Opportunities will arise or luck will intervene. But the truth is, life doesn't change on its own. Nothing changes until you change. That may seem like a heavy truth at first, but it's also incredibly liberating because it means the power to transform your life is already in your hands. Think for a moment about how much of your life is spent replaying the past. Maybe you wake up thinking about an argument from the day before or dwelling on a mistake you made last week. Those thoughts aren't harmless, they trigger emotions like frustration, regret, or sadness. Those emotions affect your mood, your actions, and ultimately your outcomes. Before you even realize it, your day becomes a reflection of yesterday. You might call it a new day, but in truth, it's just another chapter in the same story you've been telling yourself for years. This cycle isn't just about habits, it's deeply rooted in how our brains work. Neuroscience has shown that the brain is like a record of the past. Every thought you think repeatedly strengthens neural connections, creating patterns that become your default way of thinking. Over time, these patterns govern how you feel and act, shaping the reality you experience. But here's the catch: these patterns aren't fixed. Your brain is capable of change, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. When you think new thoughts, you create new connections. When you pair those thoughts with new emotions, you strengthen those connections and begin to rewire your brain. The process of change begins with awareness. Most of us live on autopilot, unaware of the thoughts and emotions driving our behavior. The first step is to observe your inner world. What are the stories you're telling yourself? Are they empowering or do they keep you stuck? Are your thoughts aligned with the life you want, or are they tied to the fears and failures of the past? Awareness allows you to step out of the cycle and take back control. The next step is learning to live in the present moment. The present is the only place where change can happen. When you're focused on the past, you're reliving memories that no longer serve you. When you're consumed by the future, you're projecting fears that may never come true. The present is your point of power. It's where you can choose a new thought, a new emotion, and a new action. Changing your inner state isn't just about thinking differently, it's about feeling differently. Your emotions are powerful signals to the universe, shaping the energy you emit and the experiences you attract. If you want abundance, you must feel abundant. If you want love, you must feel love. This isn't wishful thinking, it's aligning your energy with the life you desire. Gratitude, joy, and passion are high-frequency emotions that elevate your state and draw matching experiences into your life. But this isn't a one-time effort, it's a practice. Each day you have the chance to observe your thoughts and choose new ones. Each day you can replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones and shift from fear to faith, from frustration to gratitude. It's a process of becoming, not chasing a version of yourself that already exists within you, waiting to be expressed. There will be challenges along the way. Change isn't always comfortable because it requires stepping into the unknown. Your old patterns will try to pull you back, convincing you that staying the same is safer, easier. But true growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Every time you choose awareness over autopilot, courage over fear, and hope over doubt, you're breaking free from the past and creating a new future. Remember, nothing changes until you change. Life isn't something that happens to you, it's something that responds to you. The power to create the life you want isn't in some distant circumstance or in the hands of another person, it's within you, in this moment, right now. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you make is shaping your reality. You are the architect of your own destiny. So decide here and now to become the change you've been waiting for. The future you desire begins with the choices you make today. Every morning, countless people wake up wishing for something to be different in their lives. They want better relationships, more success, greater happiness, or a sense of fulfillment. Yet, day after day, they find themselves facing the same challenges, stuck in the same routines, and wondering why nothing seems to improve. It's a frustrating cycle, and it's easy to feel like the problem lies somewhere outside of you in circumstances, other people, or luck. But the truth is, life doesn't work that way. Nothing changes until you change. That simple truth holds the key to unlocking the transformation you've been searching for. Think for a moment about how much of your day is shaped by the past. From the moment you wake up, your mind begins to replay old patterns. You think about unfinished tasks, past conflicts, or the goals you've yet to reach. Those thoughts create familiar emotions, stress, doubt, frustration that set the tone for your day. By the time you've had your coffee, you're already living a version of yesterday. It feels like you're moving forward, but in reality, you're standing still, caught in the momentum of your past. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a reflection of how your brain operates. Over time, your repeated thoughts and emotions create deeply ingrained neural pathways. These pathways form the blueprint for how you perceive and respond to the world. The more you think and feel in a certain way, the stronger these patterns become, until they feel like second nature. This is why change can seem so difficult. It's not just a matter of willpower, it's about rewiring the very fabric of how you think and feel. But here's the good news: your brain is not fixed. It's capable of change, a concept known as neuroplasticity. Every time you choose a new thought, you begin to create a new neural connection. When you pair that thought with an empowering emotion like gratitude, hope, or excitement, you strengthen that connection, making it easier to repeat. Over time, this process transforms your mental and emotional landscape, allowing you to break free from the habits that no longer serve you. The first step in this journey is awareness. Most of us go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations without realizing how much of our behavior is shaped by unconscious patterns. Awareness allows you to step back and observe your thoughts and emotions. Are they aligned with the future you want to create? Or are they tied to the fears and limitations of your past? Awareness is the doorway to change because it gives you the power to choose differently. Real change also requires living in the present moment. The present is where your power resides. When you're stuck in the past, you're reliving memories that keep you anchored to what's already happened. When you're consumed by the future, you're projecting fears that may never materialize. The present moment is your opportunity to let go of what no longer serves you and to start creating a new reality. Transformation isn't just about thinking differently, it's about feeling differently. Your emotions are the fuel that powers your thoughts and shapes your actions. If you want to create abundance, you need to feel abundant. If you want love, you need to feel love. This isn't just about positive thinking, it's about embodying the energy of the life you want to create. Emotions like gratitude, joy, and passion have a high frequency, and when you live in those states, you align yourself with the experiences that match that energy. The process of change isn't always easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. It requires daily commitment to observing your thoughts, challenging your old beliefs, and practicing new ways of thinking and feeling. It's a journey of becoming, not an instant transformation. There will be times when it feels challenging, when old patterns try to pull you back. But every small step forward brings you closer to the life you want. Remember, nothing changes until you change. The life you desire isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create from within. You are the architect of your reality, and every thought, every emotion, and every decision you make is shaping the world around you. Right now, in this very moment, you have the power to decide who you want to be and what kind of life you want to live. Change doesn't start tomorrow or next week or when circumstances improve. It starts now with the choices you make today. So, who will you choose to become?